we start, to do this challenge I used a mod called Unlimited Companions Framework, which took me hours to find. I couldn't find it when I searched it up for some reason. Anyway, the rules of the challenge are, I'm only allowed to fight using male companions, and I have to be in a relationship with every male companion that I'm allowed to flirt with. However, I failed that part, but more on that later. For now, I chose my name, my special stats, and then I watched the entire world blow up around me. After watching the world blow up, I got to watch my wife die, which was kind of sad, but I was about to get a bunch of hot boyfriends out of it, so, you win some, you lose some, I guess. After watching her die, I got out of the cryo chamber and started to do my favorite activity, trapping rad roaches behind doors. I could just skip this, but honestly, trapping rad roaches is difficult, so I always just make that a part of every challenge. Speaking of every challenge, I decided to play on very hard from now on. That's because after resting to get back some HP, I then decided it was time to go to Good Neighbor. Watched some guy try to harass me, talked him down, had Hancock kill him, and I fell in love. It was truly love and murder at first sight. As then I recruited Hancock because the mod lets you easily recruit people instantly, which I would regret doing this, but that would come back later. As then I recruited McCready and got another sweet boyfriend, crafted some water to heal me and my boys. Probably didn't need it in this run, but better safe than sorry. I then hid behind a railing where I watched Paladin Dance do most of the work. As then I agreed to help him out. But really, I just wanted him to be my boyfriend because come on, look at him. Big, handsome, strong. What more could you want? Dance was so intrigued by my beauty, he didn't even fight the synths. He just stood there with me. So, I just turned on the machine and watched the synths walk around without fighting Paladin Dance. It was kind of weird. Obviously, it glitched out because Dance wasn't supposed to be my companion. But hey, I'm not going to complain. As then me and Dan spoke, I agreed to join the Brotherhood, and I upgraded my vault suit. Nice. As then it was time to get my next boyfriend, Preston Garvey. But to do that, we had to clear out the Museum of Freedom. Watching my companions clear out the raiders was pretty easy, so then I talked to Garvey, and he agreed to join my group of boyfriends. As then I gave power armor to McCready because, well, why not? After that, I then leaped down and watched my army of boyfriends fight a Deathclaw, which was quite entertaining, honestly. And I've never seen the Deathclaw go down this fast. It makes sense since the Deathclaw is being shot from a bunch of different directions by people that are way higher than its level because the Deathclaw is supposed to be early in the game. So yeah, that all checks out. As then I got a good look of my sweet Preston walking away slowly. After that, it was time for me to save Strong. Now, I can't really romance Strong, so you might be asking, why am I siding with characters that I can't romance? Well, originally I was just going to do characters I can romance, but I decided to get all male companions, because I've always wished I could romance all of them. And I could install more mods, but it took me like 5 hours to find this mod, because it didn't show up whenever I searched, so I just decided not to do that. I also died a lot, because I was stupid and my companions kept blocking me. But eventually, they're able to make it all the way to Fist, and I could make an immature joke about that, but I'm not going to do it. Just a bunch of gay men fighting some Fist. After taking care of Fist, it was then time for me to finally make my way to Strong and let him go. I was lost in his eyes, looking at the beautiful man that is Strong, as then he joined my company. As then it was time for me to get Deacon. He was easy. All I had to do was go to the railroad and then straight up recruit him. After that, I managed to flirt with Hancock, which is nice. By the way, I'll show whenever I can flirt with my companions, because, well, the whole point of the challenge is to have as many boyfriends as possible. So I agreed to help Nick Valentine, so I can recruit him and get him to help me with the main quest. As my companions easily tore through the Triggermen, obviously, because, well, I have a super mutant and a guy with power armor versus people in trench coats. And I managed to get Dance to like me a bit more, which is nice, and even flirt a bit with him. As then, we continued onward, slaughtering the Triggermen like they were nothing. After going through some Triggermen, eventually we made it to Nick Valentine. By the way, if you ever install this mod, make sure to only recruit Nick after you get him out of the vault and he helps you go to Kellogg's house, because otherwise he'll get soft locked and you won't be able to continue the quest or complete the game. As we easily continued our way through more triggermen, Strong began to like me more, which is nice, and then we dealt with Darla and her gang by convincing Darla to kill her boyfriend. You know, just some typical couple stuff, nothing I can't handle. After that, I agreed to become the Silver Shroud. I originally thought about completing the quest, but I just wanted better armor, so I decided just to go in and grab it and have him fix it up for me, which was very nice. And it makes it so humans do 5% less damage. After getting some actual decent armor, I was ready to fight Kellogg, and by me, I mean my companions. As I talked to Nick, used my charisma to flirt with the mayor to get what I wanted, as then I went to Kellogg's house and used a dog to find him, as eventually we made it to Fort Hagen. And if you thought the scents were going to be a challenge, what's wrong with you? I have a literal super mutant on my side. Kellogg tried to do the invisibility trick, but yeah, since my companions are AI and can easily see through that, it didn't really work out too well. All he did was hide behind some cover, which worked out for a bit, so I had to walk up towards him so my companions get closer. Eventually they were able to surround and take him out. After they dealt with Kellogg, I finally got the brain matter I needed, talked with Hancock a bit more, then I left to help out some people. You see, I wanted to get the Minutemen ended. My plan was to side with the Brotherhood until I can flirt with Dance. So, to get the Minutemen ending, I would have to complete some quests. So that's exactly what I did, as I went to complete some Minutemen quests. Also, every time you complete a quest for the Minutemen, Preston Garvey loves it. So if you want to flirt with Garvey, which come on, who wouldn't, just go around completing Minutemen quests with him as a companion. I was also able to use my charm to help this kid at the forge not kill a guy, so that's nice. As then we took on the leader. And yeah, Slang didn't stand a single chance against us. We easily pulverized him. I also cleared out some settlements, started some new settlements, and cleared out some raiders. Yada yada yada, Minutemen this, Minutemen that. You know how it goes. As then it was finally time for us to retake the castle. I was a bit worried, but I had a strategy in mind in case all my companions went down. We'll talk about that later. As my companions easily slaughtered through the Mirelurk, it was time to deal with the Mirelurk Queen. I tried to go up on top of the castle so my companions would too, hoping that the Mirelurk Queen wouldn't focus on them, but sadly I didn't really work out well. And yeah, the Mirelurk Queen easily tore apart my companions like they were Swiss butter. However, there was a way around this, because I saw the Mirelurk Queen was still taking a lot of damage while doing this, so I left. You see, if you leave the castle, then come back, all your companions will be healed. So anytime my companions started to die, I would simply do this a lot, as eventually we were able to take down the Mirelurk Queen. I also got a pretty good shot of it dying, which is nice. After taking down the Mirelurk Queen, I was then able to improve relations with Strong, which is pretty nice, not gonna lie. As then me and Strong began to talk about how much we love each other. After that, I went to the memory den, and I learned that the Institute was using teleportation. And there was this guy named Virgil who I needed to see. But before that, I managed to increase my relationship with McCready. And considering that you have to complete all of his quests to actually flirt with him, I wanted to complete McCready's quest, as we went on the bridge and dealt with the gunners he used to work for. They put up quite a bit of a fight, way more fight than the Triggermen, but there was still no match for my super mutant boyfriend and my power armor boyfriend, as they easily tore them apart. I even got Dance to fight people with his fists. For some reason, he just lost his gun and stopped using it through the fight. The next fight, he had it back. I've never seen him punch someone before, so I was just amazed. If you've seen that, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, me and McCready were now all set, as I helped him get rid of his old bosses. As then it was time to go back to the castle and help old Ronnie Shaw get the artillery working again. As then my companions fought Sarge. I wanted to say that Sarge put up a good fight, but Sarge would only focus on one companion at a time. And when you have 4 people shooting at you at once, that's not really a winning strategy, as they easily tore apart Sarge one by one, piece by piece. As then I threw down some smoke grenades and got to watch the show, as it rained fire from above, as now the Minutemen were far stronger. As then I got to flirt with Hancock for the last time, as me and Hancock were finally doing it. We were finally boyfriends. That's right, me and the sexy ghoul together forever. Alright, giggity 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 goo. As then I talked to Dance as I improved relations with him. As me and Dance were getting along just fine, probably jealous of Hancock, it was time to continue on our main quest, which of course was flirting with more companions, as I managed to be able to flirt with Preston Garvey also, who quite liked me. Maybe it's my charm and good looks. As then I was able to flirt with McCready again, as then he started to like me more. As then I listened to this boring lecture from Elder Maxon, talking about how supermutants were bad, yada yada yada. As then it was time to clear out Fort Strong. As the supermutant behemoth actually did give me quite a bit of trouble, so what I did was I walked into the fort and had my companions fight all the supermutants because they would chase me in there. So then the behemoth would have to fight all my companions one by one. And eventually, through coming back over and over, they were able to wipe him out. Believe it or not, Preston Garvey, the guy believed to have the worst aim in the entire game, was the guy who got the last shot. After that, we went back to Fort Strong as we cleared out what was left of the supermutants. By the way, why is Strong named after the fort? I don't think that's ever brought up. It's probably a coincidence, but still. Anyway, I then bought a bunch of Radaway and some Rad-X. I did take the radiation resistance perk part 2, so I'm 20% resistant, but I still wanted to be careful. As I made it to Virgil, I then talked to him. He was confused how I had so many boyfriends, so he sent me away to the Institute. But before that, I then talked to Paladin Dance, as me and him were getting along even more, as I got to flirt with him. As then, it was time to kill the Courser. Now, I could have my companions make my way through, but I decided instead of that, I would just chug a bunch of water and just run through the gunners, as I didn't feel like waiting for my companions to take them out one by one. Besides, as soon as I get to the elevator, they will teleport next to me. As I made it to the Courser, for some reason, only Strong was there, and I don't really know why. But Strong was easily able to handle him after a while, and even Paladin Dance showed up. I don't know where my other companions were, but hey, I guess it really doesn't matter. As then I took it to Tinker Tom, and Tinker Tom decoded the chip. After having him decode the chip, I then went over to do some more Minutemen quests to flirt with Preston Garvey, as Preston Garvey was becoming quite fond of me, as me and him officially became boyfriends. That's 2 more to go. As then I talked to McCready some more, and he had another quest for me, the quest to save his son. As me and McCready and the rest of the companions went in, it was time for me to get the cure. You see, this quest is just fight through some robots and some ghouls until you find the cure for Duncan, McCready's son. So yeah, not really that hard at all. As I found the cure, I then went over and gave it away so McCready's son can be cured once and for all. As then I got to meet a nice fine lady, but I told her I wasn't interested because I'm only into men this run. As then I built a teleporter with the Brotherhood. Doesn't really matter who I build it with, but the Brotherhood was already ready, so I figured why not choose them. I then talked to my son, who was an old man now, as I went to Dr. Lee, as I recruited her for the Brotherhood. Like I said, I didn't want to side with the Brotherhood, but I was going to have to go along with their quest until I can get Paladin Dance. As then, I took a break for me and my boyfriends to, enjoy ourselves. After that, I then began to get materials for the magnets for Liberty Prime. After getting the materials and making my way through Super Mutants, I did skip past it because, not much happened. I then placed down the magnets. I ran past some ghouls because now I was in the glowing sea. I passed that because, like I said before, not much really happened here. So I was able to make my way all the way to this crazy cultist, and I used flattery to flirt with him so he let me in. As then I located the nukes for Liberty Prime. After that I talked to Elder Maxon, and he ordered me to kill my boyfriend, and I told him F no, and I went to Paladin Dance and convinced him that life was worth living, as I could officially flirt with him, and get him to be my boyfriend once and for all. At least that's what was supposed to happen, but I'll explain that in just a second. As I used my charm to talk Elder Maxon out of killing him, I realized something. Paladin Dance should be Max's relationship with me, but I can't get him to be my boyfriend. And I even tried doing the power armor trick just in case I was wrong, but no matter how much I did that, it didn't really work. It must be because of the mod. I think the mod made it he was my companion even when he wasn't supposed to. So the whole thing where you can talk to him about dating him never happens. So I couldn't get Paladin Dance as a boyfriend, technically kind of failing the challenge. I then try to get McCree to get max relations by stealing and finessing people, but no matter how much I did that, it could never happen. So I just gave up trying to romance them and decided it was time to take down the Institute, as I couldn't kill, but I would allow myself to punch. So I punched the synth until it got mad. But even though the Institute was mad at me, I couldn't get the Minutemen to destroy them. I talked to Preston Garvey, and the quest just never triggered. Oh well, I forgot to record this, but Deacon, he was locked out of the quest. I needed Deacon for the railroad, but since he was my companion, he wouldn't help me. So the only option was the Brotherhood. Sadly, I had to side with them. I didn't want to side with them because I sided with them last Fallout 4 video, but I literally had no choice. But next time, I don't know who I'll side with, but it definitely will not be the Brotherhood. As me and my companions made it through to get the nuclear reactor, all I could do was just stand there and have them shoot at me through an elevator, as then I went to the bottom and grabbed the reactor. Not really that hard. Not really much happened here, so I'm just going to skip through most of it until the action started. The Assaultrons weren't really much of a fight. My companions were kind of overpowered at this point, so I'll just skip past that, as then I got to turn on Liberty Prime. After watching Liberty Prime turn on, it was time to assault the Institute, as me and my boyfriends assembled like the Avengers. Also, for some reason, an Enclave soldier attacked me. I did not deal with the Enclave all game, so I don't know why this happened, but maybe they were trying to stop their Brotherhood like old times. I have no idea. Anyway, we made it through the Institute, and it was time for us to battle some more synths. I mean, we've done this a million times by now, so not really much has changed. And the Brotherhood ending is literally the easiest ending once you get to the Institute, so having multiple partners helping me made it a piece of cake. As I got to the computer, opened the reactor room, ran to the reactor, turned it on, ran past all of the synths that were trying to kill me. As I ran for dear life, for some reason Elder Maxon was taking his sweet time to teleport me out. I honestly thought the game was glitched, but luckily it wasn't. I talked to Sean, decided to adopt him, as 8 boyfriends and 1 kid sounded like a sweet sitcom. Also, I didn't know this was a thing, but my companions got teleported out one by one before me. I thought that was kind of neat. After that, I watched the Institute blow up, proving that you kinda can beat Fallout 4 by being gay, and kinda can't because it gets locked out. But whatever. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I did. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what challenges you want for the next video. And peace out. Love you all.